let it rest.
So, should we talk about the bad habits for developers?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I think we should.
All right. So, it's actually quite nice to have um this listed because we really need to get these words out for those developers and programmers who aren't into the fundamentals. So the first bad habit of a developer is that they don't know the fundamentals of anything. So you won't be able to succeed, much less create an innovative stuff if you really can't um understand the fundamentals. You know, the basic stuff regarding programming and development. Second one
Yeah.
is they don't actually practice. So they just
Mm-hmm.
talk. Um, yeah, so basically they're just talking but no coding. Or they learn in school, they watch YouTube videos, read some articles, but they don't actually practice. So you actually gotta practice. Yeah. I think I was able to mention this in an old video that I've uploaded in YouTube way back then. That you actually need to practice programming because writing bad code is actually a bridge or a tool for you to write a good code because you really can't write a good code without having some issues. Yeah.
Totally, totally.
Yeah. The third one is don't give up. Just don't give up. So if there's any new frameworks or any new programming languages, you just need to take a look at it, review it, and check if you can use that for future projects or not. Just don't give up pursuing the dream of innovating stuff, perhaps
Yeah.
using new stuff. Because actually, you can just say that I'm just a Java developer. There's some point in time that you actually have and need to move to web development without using any Java. So yeah, you need to adapt.
Well,
Um,
yeah, you can totally tell that to my ex-coworkers.
I think I just need to make a snippet of this video and send this to them. So
Totally. But
uh
don't include my face.
yeah, I'm going to blur it. So number 5 for the bad habits for developers and programmers is they don't have a plan. Uh well actually this is in general cuz having having a plan, for example, if you're going to create a project, you actually don't know what's going on and you just say it is what it is.
That will be the biggest bull that you ever receive.
You actually need to have a plan in order for you to succeed in some projects. You actually need to foresee the features that you need to input. So there's that. Number 6 is copying code from others. Way back in high school and college, there's a lot of copycats. They
Yep.
actually ask you to put your code, specifically a code, inside a flash drive, and they
Mhm.
actually don't change a thing. So they copy your
Yeah.
code, not they actually didn't change any variable names, any function. Yeah. So actually, it's not a bad idea to copy a code because if you're going to remember, most of developers and programmers use Stack Overflow, right?
Yeah.
It's
Totally.
actually a bible for us. But you can't just copy that code and assume that that code will work on your own code. Are you nuts?
Yes. Oh my god. I mean,
Are you fucking crazy?
it's like I mean, do these people even question themselves that is my code? I mean, is my file the same with this guy's file?
Yeah. I think the
Seriously.
misconception regarding this is that they actually memorize the code or they actually memorize everything. So
Mhm.
they really can't write their own code. So they just need to remember those specific uh, lines of code. For us, who is actually writing code and had published uh, web apps and websites, we actually don't memorize code. We actually understand the fundamentals. Plus, you actually need to learn the syntax. Those are the things that you need to learn before you can write your own code.
Yeah,
You can jump
totally.
from one programming language to another. You can jump from one framework to another um, by just looking to the syntaxes. You actually don't have to memorize those code. You just need to know the fundamentals, such as data structure, the basic stuff like conditional statements, loops, something like that.
Yeah.
And you need to know the syntax for that language. I think I've seen there was a project that I was involved in. I think they copied a C language function and pasted it into a PHP uh, file. I think that's from
What?
Stack Overflow. So that's
What?
actually quite crazy. Uh, yeah, it's actually a real project that I was involved into. So for the I was able to view that code and ask them, what's going on with this line of code over in this specific line. So they weren't able to answer me directly because they said that it's actually quite complicated. Blah blah blah. It's
Oh
actually
dear, man.
a different language, if you understand me.
Yeah. It's like talking English while you're while you're while the person you're talking to is talking Malaysian or Chinese.
Yeah.
So how the hell will they even communicate?
Yes.
Oh
It's actually
my god.
a cringy experience. So yeah, there's that. Moving forward to the topic. Um,
Well, wait, let me stop you there again.
mm,
I wanted to add another example of this kind of BS,
oh sure, sure.
because I really can't move on from this kind of experience,
Yeah.
because mm-mm, mm-mm. You just don't do that to me. I mean, you, no matter who you are, you just don't do that to me. You see, I was given this module and I was coding it. We were using PDO PHP, right? And then I was about 95% completion of that module given to me.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, the idiot manager gave me another project where I can take charge of the whole. I can create my own database, my rules, it's like my game. This is my game now.
Yeah.
And I have this senior, my other senior that saying to me that he was even boasting it that he was using my SQLi. It's no longer PDO PHP. And I was like, shut up! Shut up! Shut up! I've implemented PDO PHP before I even get here, and my SQLi at the same time. So just I mean, my SQLi is my SQLi. So don't ever come to me speaking that, hey, I know how to use PDO in my SQLi. You should come to me saying that, hey, I know how to use my SQL. or the other one, the no database or no SQL,
Yeah,
MongoDB. I mean,
MongoDB.
that is acceptable for me. But if you come to me saying that you know PDO PHP and MySQLi, fuck off.
Uh, MySQLi is just an improved version, which is we've talked this um on the first dry run for this episode.
Yeah,
MySQLi is just an improved version of MySQL because back
yep,
then MySQL is susceptible to SQL injection. That's the reason why PDO was created in the first place, and
yeah,
um, and then MySQL just caught up with PDO. I think 2016, 2015.
yeah,
That's a year.
around there.
Yeah. So yeah, it, MySQLi as of this moment and PDO is actually it's they're not much of a difference, but if you won't be able to if you don't implement the security that is intended to be used on those two, you're still susceptible for any SQL injection. But yeah, you just need to learn how to use those security stuff, and you're on
Mhm.
your way to the races.
Yeah. Another issue. You wanna know another issue?
Sure.
The manager had two recruits, right?
Yeah.
Two, I think they were in the process, just in the process. They were not officially hired. What kind of company would give an applicant a module to test if that applicant is already capable of working in the company? And okay, let's say that's acceptable. And then the only problem is these modules is actually the project itself. And then these applicants wrote these two modules in different language. It's not PHP.
Yeah.
The other one is written in Python. The other one is written in C sharp, or is it C plus plus? No, I think it was C plus plus. And the person who made use of the C plus plus got the most complicated algorithm correct, and he made the module work. And then the manager was like going to our CEO, CTO. I mean, what would we do? I mean, they made the module, they made it work. I mean, how would we connect that to the system? And the CTO was like, I don't know. I don't know Python. I'm not. I'm not. I'm not. I'm not. I'm not. I'm not. So it's like I was thinking that. So why would you require an applicant to write it in his or her preference language when we only use PHP? I thought you were the manager of IT.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, poor idiots. They don't know what they're going into. I think they should have also, I don't know, maybe they were desperate for the job, so that's why they did it. But nah.
Yeah.
You just got yourself killed or in a bad situation.
It's
Seriously.
it's actually a sad story to hear because those type of programmers and by the way, I think the other one that you've mentioned that is using C++, I think that is
Yeah.
for C sharp. Are they using a web framework? Because I think that would be a C sharp for the ASP.NET Core for
Yeah, I
websites.
think yeah, I think. And then the idiot manager, even made mention that this C developer is using Microsoft Access. It was a very, yeah, I think it is a very old language,
Yeah,
or
it's
a very
I
old
think
approach.
I think that would be a database for Microsoft Access.
Mm,
Um, well, it's not just Microsoft Access, because if you're going to use ASP.NET, because you can use MySQL for that, and any NoSQL database such as MongoDB. I
Mhm.
think it's a little bit waste for that company to give up those two developers, because actually
Exactly.
Python and C sharp developers are one of the most desirable people to be hired in a company, since Python can do anything in general:
Yeah.
automation, web stuff like website or web apps. You can actually create,
AI.
yeah, AI, machine learning for that. They're actually quite powerful. Uh, for the most part, C sharp developers mainly focus on Microsoft side of things. So basically, they can create apps or programs in Microsoft. They can also create website using ASP.NET Core, which is good for CPU intensive um, processes. If they're looking into that type of thing, like a lot of algorithms for the processor to compute. Um, yeah, because Node.js is actually not good for CPU intensive processes, because it will actually slow down if we're going to put those type of thing. So those two developers that was rejected by your previous company is actually quite a
Uh,
waste.
well, about acceptance or rejection, I am not sure right now, but that's offensive.
Yeah,
That's just super offensive. No, I mean, firstly, why would you give an applicant a whole module that you are already using? I mean, that you need. That's just taking advantage. I mean, come on,
yeah. I
get
think
some, be professional.
that's the main point of them giving those applicants those
Yeah,
modules, is to take
right.
advantage of that language. Maybe they know that C sharp is actually good for CPU intensive processes.
No,
So
they don't know anything.
okay. So
I'll
yeah,
cut you there.
it's just a waste. If I have the money and capability to hire those type of guys, I will do it. Not just for me using a specific language for any specific purposes, but they're actually quite good in general stuff. Yeah,
Yeah,
because C sharp is actually being used in Unity, which is a game development engine. You
yeah.
can write
Okay.
games with it. You can also write applications. You can also write embedded stuff or embedded applications. So yeah, there's a lot of good stuff for those developers. I think they shouldn't worry that they get rejected in that company, because there's a lot of opportunities on that
Yeah,
language.
most especially the Python.
Yep, yep, yep.
I want that.
uh,
Yeah,
Powerful
please.
stuff. Okay, we do have four remaining topic regarding bad habits of a developer. Number seven is over engineering simple problems. Yeah. We all seen it. We've all seen it. There
Mm-hmm.
was
Yeah,
actually a YouTube clip. We're going to put this on um the description, because this video is actually 28 minutes. It's actually quite long. Brian Will, the name of the YouTuber, had actually made a point that OOP, or object oriented programming, is actually just over engineering stuff. OOP is quite useful in some point. He made a good point regarding this. I'll be posting that in the description. Do you have any inputs regarding that? Or
uh, over engineering. You want me to share another experience?
sure, sure.
You see, I mean,
let me stop you right there. I think I was able to. I think there was a there was a code that I've seen, and that is this the correct story that you're going to tell?
I mean, what code are you talking about? Sorry.
The over-engineered loop for a nav bar.
Oh wait, I did that intentionally. No, no, no. That has a story, okay? I over engineer. No, because it's like this, okay, guys. Simplicity is at best, okay? But when you hate your workmates, punish them.
Yeah.
Punish them. Because what I did with my nav bar, I put the nav items, I put the nav links, I put their CSS properties in a different array. So there was like I think about three arrays, and there was a different array for a submenu. And in order to output the nav bar items and its properties and its nav links, I used a for loop for each loop and then a for loop. And I mean, yeah, okay, I admit, I over-engineered it, but for the purpose of punishing these mm, mofos. Well, yeah, I mean, you can just do a number simply printing it. I mean, like, just print it. It's just a number.
Yeah.
But like I said, when you hate your workmates, punish them.
At least there's a purpose, not just coincidental over
Yeah,
engineering stuff. So yeah.
yeah. Well, there's another example for this. Anyway,
Okay.
I punished them twice, or I think I'm not even sure on how many times I punished them because I keep on twisting algorithms. Because I saw their algorithm. Okay, their algorithm is like reading a book, basically reading a book. You
Mm-hmm.
read it from top to bottom, you get the whole thing. I mean, they made think about 30 block of code that is full of if. It was checking if this input
Wow.
is empty, if this input is it's like if this input has an input, then get all its input. Excuse me. That's the algorithm. That's your algorithm. That's why it's 30 blocks or depending on the input of the form. So if the form has three inputs, it has about nine blocks of ifs, right, for each property.
Damn.
What I did was I put each name of the form in an array again, and then I made a for loop. I made a for loop, and inside that for loop, I made an if statement that if it is not is set. I mean, if it has no input, then set it to as empty, like empty.
Yeah.
But if not, then get its value. It's actually quite short. When I made that algorithm, I was like, God damn. Good luck, workmates. I didn't feel good because I was like, oh, look at how far I've reached. I I felt good because good luck debugging, guys.
there's
Yeah,
actually
guys.
actually quite a problem for those people who's using nested conditional statements.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a lot of nested ifs.
What's that? You're creating an AI using ifs? Dude,
Come on,
get you.
you're, you're going to kill yourself before you can even finish the AI.
Exactly.
Is actually there's a good point in over engineering if you actually don't know the process, because you can actually write a nested ifs, and then after you've understood the process or the algorithm, you can actually make another one, remove those nested ifs, and use loops, right? You can just
Yeah.
rely to that nested ifs. Because guys, you actually need to learn code efficiency. It's not
Yes, totally.
just yeah. It's not just the longer the code, the better, which
Yep.
is not
Hmm.
true. The shorter the code, the better, because you
Yeah.
can
So
actually optimize the performance.
my to my ex coworkers, rub that to your face. Rub my algorithm to your face. Seriously,
They're going
if
to
you can
love it.
read it, congrats.
They're going to love it. Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
Go ahead.
wait, hold on, because the problem that I see with them is, I mean, they have an edge against me when it comes to speed coding. Yeah, they can totally code fast, but when it comes to implementation, nah, you can't beat me. Nah, I'm not boasting or what, because it's what I've experienced. Okay, and this senior, I hate this senior, is even saying that we it's we just put the code there. It's not yet final, but the client is already using the system. When will it be final?
Yeah.
So I was like thinking, nah, you're just covering your shame, boy. Get
Yeah.
off, fuck off.
Yeah. They're actually just they have this kind of impostor syndrome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They have that type of thing going on. And by the way, you can just put a code directly to production. You actually need to have a dev a dev branch. Please use Git or GitHub, guys. Come on, seriously. It's year 2020. You actually need to use a version control, not just upload files directly to production. And you're going to mess yourself up if you're going to um, make an update for just one little code. Yeah.
Well, addition to the input, ge- using version control is actually very useful. Seriously, because when you don't use version controls, I mean, if you mess your code now, how will you ever go back? I mean, considering that you saved the file, you've exited the application, you've turned off your PC and then turned on again, and then the code or the system just broke down. You
Yeah.
can't go back now.
And that's the best part in having or using version control, that you can
Yeah.
actually see the specific file that was changed and know
Hmm.
on where the error is coming from. And
Yeah.
just test the system before you're going to put it into production. Just come on, come on. I think I should have put this as a first bad habit for developers.
I think you should.
Yeah, I think I should have. Uh,
About the testing, guys. mm, Testing via yourself inputting or completing the form that you've created. Don't you if it did work, the input did work, don't say that it works, okay?
yeah,
Don't just don't. I mean, it's
testing,
better to use automation, I mean, automation testing or something like that.
automated
Testing
testing.
tools.
It's like a unit test.
Yeah.
Yeah, you actually need to write that. Just write test. You can actually test the system or make a peer review for a pull request, but I would prefer to make a test first and then ask someone for a peer review for a pull request. Uh, you're just uploading codes that is waiting. Yeah, it's like a disaster waiting to happen. So yeah, it's up to you if you want to destroy your life. think about the bad experiences that you have.
Have
Make
a flashback.
Yeah, have a flashback. Decide to make a change and something like that. Just use Git. Come on, it's quite useful. Yeah. So number 8 for bad habits is that some developers and programmers don't actually accept critics or criticism. Yeah, it's actually a bad habit. For a programmer to succeed and a developer to write a good code, you actually need to hear and understand the criticism of your programmers, because every programmer or developer is actually quite unique. They actually have a different way of thinking. So if a programmer can make your code even better, you actually need to listen and take a look at that code, because there's actually quite a lot of developers who won't accept this criticism. So, for example, they use um, a loop incorrectly, something like that, or they have a bad algorithm. There is actually 100 lines of code, which after you've read the code, you can actually make it at least 50, and using what, while and for loops.
Yeah,
Yeah,
totally. And, and in addition to that, this is of course again according to my experience.
yeah,
So you can never say that no, they're correct because seriously I got fucked up. Okay, okay, guys, okay, okay. Because it's like this. Okay, I was using my. I think it was my first week. Yeah, I think it is my first week in that. And they
yeah.
gave me the database. I was configuring my own database for my own module. They were like, no, the engine should be my exam. And I was like, and I was just thinking, okay, but I needed to use foreign keys, and by experience, foreign keys never work on my exam.
Yep.
And there, this this idiot senior of mine just said, we also use foreign keys, you know. So I checked the database of the whole system. You can't. I don't see any database or any table in this schema that uses the engine InnoDB or any engine. You just use my ISAM. So how can you use foreign keys with this engine? And yeah, not just the foreign keys. The senior also erased the property auto increment, changed every data type to varchar
Oh,
because he's a dog. He keeps following orders. They don't want to accept fucking opinions, okay?
that gotta hurt,
Hmm.
bro. That
No,
gotta
because
hurt.
it's like this. It's like this, okay? Their mindset is speed, just speed. One problem, what when I think of a solution, that's it. But their solution is based on the past experiences. They never improve that. They keep on doing the same crap. They
Yeah.
never evolve. And then when I create something unique, I mean, they're like, nah, just nah. Nah, you're just weak things, fucking idiots. I mean, yeah, but I'm just
Basically,
speechless.
basically, it's just as I've mentioned earlier, it's just a disaster waiting to happen. That they're doing what they're doing on their database. Because in MySQL, you actually need to adhere to the property of ACID, which is in definition, it's atomicity, consistency, isolation, and durability. Uh, Removing a foreign key on your database,
It's me.
it's just an awful lot of disaster that is waiting to happen. Yeah, you can argue with the performance, but is that really a better choice rather than having a reliable or robust database?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, we just need to wait until their database will going to be fucked up.
Well, well, I look into their database actually, tables, etc.
Yeah.
And I just got the feeling immediately there is redundancy being practiced here, and then they call that big data. I
Big
was
data.
like, ah,
Seriously.
I'm gonna slap you with my keyboard, but I love my keyboard and I don't have any money to replace it, so just absorb.
it's
Big
it's
data.
it's actually a little bit drag because if you're going to ask a certified SQL guy for this job for like a system or a database administrator, oh
Yeah.
man, that guy might probably kill himself if we're going to take a look at that database.
Now he might even give back the certificates he got.
Yeah.
Oh Christ, I didn't learn enough. Here's my certificates.
Since their database is already messed up, as I've been telling you before, that I think you should make a recommendation and ask them to use one database per user.
Yeah,
And maybe if they really don't know what's going on with their database, they might agree to it. So yeah.
I don't know, bro. Just I don't know. They're wild. I mean, they don't even accept my opinions. But nonetheless, I use my own database in that another project. I used foreign keys. I used auto increments. I used date inputs. I mean, I just mix up the whole database.
Yeah.
Let's see if they can adapt to that. Because there was actually an error with one of my modules, and I was thinking, and I asked my senior, okay, I asked him, why why is there an error? It was a date data type in the database, but in my PHP insert it won't execute. And my senior just said, just change it to varchar. They're just the same.
No, it's not the same.
And I was like, okay, thank you, sir. Fuck you.
Come on, date and a varchar is a different data type.
Yeah, but
Hello.
yeah, but just
Oh
like I
god.
said, speed is everything. Speed.
Come on. I think
Yeah.
we actually need to apply for that job again. I think I
No,
think we can troll them out.
that's what I told you before. I think you should come here and be the
Yeah.
CTO.
I can definitely troll them out if they're doing stuff like that. It's not actually good. If since they're using a relational database, which is that specific database that you're using, since they're not fond of using foreign keys, why aren't they using NoSQL or MongoDB for that stuff?
Let me ask you a better question there, Adrian. Do they know that?
I don't know.
Do they know that?
Well, since they can't innovate.
No, no, they don't know that. Okay? They don't know that. What they know is what they know. That's it.
Yeah, I think it's just a crazy world that we live in. Yeah. It's actually the year 2020. Why are you still using my ISAM or my ISAM?
That's all they know.
That's all they know. Okay.
And
That's
then they're and then they're gonna talk about InnoDB just months. I mean, just after a month. Since I told them about InnoDB, they're gonna say, ah, InnoDB, yes, that's for the foreign key. And I was like, piss offs. And then I just wear my earphones. I just want to show that you're just piss offs, okay?
Yeah. That's the main reason why the ninth topic for bad habit is they don't accept new technologies. Yep. Yep. So yeah. Yep. That's it. We really don't have to elaborate regarding that. That's it.
Mhm.
They don't accept new technologies.
But
Yeah.
I think you guys already can see it, okay? You can already
Yeah.
see it.
You can see it. You can see the whole picture for it. So we
Yeah,
really don't have to elaborate that.
yeah,
Last topic for that is developers are not involved in coding communities. So joining Discord or just having a account in Stack Overflow and having a discussion regarding any code is actually quite good because most developers are into different languages or into different way of thinking. So you actually need to have a different or unique friends to take a look at the code, right?
yeah.
Because
Well,
it,
just don't be, well, sorry,
mm,
but just don't be a sheep or a dog, okay?
yeah, just be true to yourself that you don't know that specific topic. For example, you really can't create an algorithm. So is it just me pretending to create an algorithm that I'm not familiar with, or should I just consult a person that I know who can write a better code? So which one is which, right? I would prefer the latter one, but most of the time developers choose the first one, which they assume that they know what they're doing, but they're not. So fuck off.
Seriously, guys, doesn't it doesn't mean that, no, this is actually a life lesson already. If the Don't follow immediately a person who is better than you, and don't look down on the person that has a lower position than you. Seriously, just don't. If the lower position is much better than you, accept it.
Yeah,
Oh wait, no, I can't say that word. Accept it, and then I don't know, just learn from him also. It's just learn.
yeah.
Seriously.
Because
Most especially
go ahead.
wait, most especially to this senior that I worked with. I'm better than you, okay? I just want to clear that out. I'm better than you, okay? You guys don't even know the X diag or how to view the properties of a computer. Please, so please, what the upper says doesn't mean it should be followed immediately. Seriously, okay? Life lesson, please. Thank you.
And what we need to consider is that technology actually changes month by month. You can't just rely to your knowledge regarding certain technology. Well, you can rely to fundamentals, but you can't just rely to the knowledge that you have on a specific language or technologies.
Yeah.
You really need to adapt. You really need to take a look at the new technologies. Yeah, because there's a lot of frameworks that is coming out. There's a lot of libraries. There's a lot of ways to code.
Mhm.
Actually, the old ways of functional programming is coming back. It's not just object oriented anymore. So yeah, there's a lot of changes on this kind of industry. There's a lot of changes in this technology. So we really need to just not rely to the knowledge that we have. We really need to learn From the person
Yeah.
who wants to read stuff, we really need to
Yeah.
learn new technologies, to the person who is a little bit much younger than us.
Totally.
You can say that you have a specific experience regarding things, but remember this, that um, a younger mind can actually understand a better way of coding, because as of this moment, I think I really can just write a code immediately while sitting and using the knowledge that I have back then. I I really need to take a look at the syntaxes and the changes for that code. Because I was able to write a Python code in Python 2, but my compiler is actually Python 3. So yeah, you really can't compile that shit onto the new one. So there's just a simple example that you can learn from it. Yeah. So I think there's that. We're actually done.
Damn. Just damn.
Yeah. There's actually a little mo or there's actually a bigger or broader topic to this, but I think this is just the important things that we need to talk about regarding those bad habits for developers.
Yeah.